In a special election on Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023, residents of the Eau Claire Public School District will have the opportunity to vote for a bond that will allow the district to finance a series of improvements at Lybrook Elementary and Eau Claire Middle School, High School buildings. In this presentation, we will share with you what this bond means for you, the taxpayers, and what this bond means for the students of Eau Claire Public Schools. This presentation will cover the why and the what, the process, financial information, the final bond proposal, and what next. The why and the what. Why do school districts need bonds? Bond funds are needed for improvements to school facilities and infrastructure. When Proposal A passed in 1994, the funding system for schools changed. The state of Michigan allocates a specific amount per student for operational expenses, known as the Student Foundation Allowance. On average, 85% of a school's revenues goes to staff, salaries, and benefits. That leaves an average of 15% for everything else, things like transportation, curriculum materials, and instructional resources, etc. Due to the size and scale of school buildings, maintenance, updates, and replacement of facilities is costly and sometimes not possible through the traditional funding received by school districts. So as a general rule, school districts do not use general funds for these types of capital improvements. As a result, in the state of Michigan, the primary funding mechanism for capital improvements in school districts is requesting taxpayer approval of bond proposals, such as the one we are asking you for. This permits the school district to borrow money to pay for capital expenditures. Without bonds, schools typically need to use general fund dollars to make improvements. Freeing up general fund dollars for operations puts more money in the classrooms with a focus on instruction and programming. Can bond funds be used for anything the district wants? The answer is no. Bond funds must be used only for the purpose specified in the ballot language, and as required by state law, they must be independently audited. They also cannot be used for repair or maintenance costs or other operating expenses. And finally, bond funds cannot be used for employee salaries. Why does Eau Claire Public Schools need a bond? Our district has a number of growing needs that require large sums of money to undertake. A bond proposal is the best approach to making the significant updates and improvements needed at Eau Claire Public Schools. A successful bond campaign will allow district funding to focus on successful educational programs. Many school districts in the state of Michigan typically seek approval for bond proposals every 5 to 10 years. This allows for significant improvements to occur and to keep the district facilities current. The last bond proposal brought to the voters of Eau Claire Public Schools was in 2012, 11 years ago, for only $3.1 million. The district has been respectful and thankful for your past community investment. Our elementary building was built in 1961. Our middle school high school building was built in 1972, which means our buildings are between 50 to 60 years old now and require a more significant investment. Now we'll talk about the process. Continually evaluating and monitoring school facilities helps to protect the community's investment in its schools. A comprehensive effort was made early in the process to identify current facility needs while also identifying and anticipating future needs. During the spring of 2019, prior to any discussion of a bond, working with architectural, engineering, construction, and technology specialists, the school district completed an in-depth facility study. The facility study identified district-wide facility needs and has helped inform the proposed direction of the bond proposal. Overall, there were approximately $31 million of total facility recommendations indicated in the report for Liebrook Elementary, the middle school high school building, and the Student Activity Center. Who has been involved in the process? The bond project began back in the 2019-2020 school year when Tower Pinkster completed the facility assessment. At that time, the district learned that there were nearly $31 million in recommendations. As the district was discussing the what next options, COVID happened and everything came to a halt. In the fall of 2021, the district re-engaged with Tower Pinkster and hired them and Owen Ames Kimball construction management firm to assist with the long-range facility visioning and pre-bond planning. The facility assessment report and costs were updated to reflect current cost, and administrators work with the district financial manager, PFM, to understand bonding capacity options based on preliminary millage projections. Then, early in 2022, the district met with internal and external focus groups. They had conversations with staff, students, community members, and the Board of Education. From these meetings and conversations, they identified additional ideas and thoughts for advancing the educational needs and goals of the district. Many of the items that were shared were beyond the maintenance and upkeep needs identified in the facility study and were focused on projects that helped support educational programming needs. As ideas and scenarios were studied for a potential bond proposal, additional input was provided by a community-based steering committee. The broader community also was engaged through 2 community forums held in the fall of 2022. Input received was critical in testing potential scope ideas for a bond proposal, along with gaining feedback on the financial impact to the community of a prospective bond. For more information on our process, please contact our superintendent, Ann Clough, or visit the ecpsbond.com website. On May 2, 2023, Eau Claire Public Schools is asking voters to vote for a $2 million increase that is projected to bring in $16.75 million. How will this impact the taxpayers? How does the Eau Claire Public Schools' current millage rate compare to surrounding districts? The tables on this slide show us the millage rates to fund capital improvements as some of the surrounding school districts. Currently, Eau Claire Public Schools levies 2.8 mills. This total millage rate puts Eau Claire Public Schools at the bottom compared to these surrounding districts. Additionally, something really important for everyone to understand is that not all mills are created equal. Eau Claire's tax base generates a lesser amount per mill than many surrounding districts. Several area schools listed above are also asking their taxpayers on May 2, 2023 for a millage increase. Those schools are noted by an asterisk. Please note Watervliet is missing an asterisk, and they too are asking taxpayers for a bond increase on May 2, 2023. Why is Eau Claire Public Schools asking for an increase in the millage rate? A question that we continue to be asked is why are we asking for an increase of 2 mills in the millage rate rather than just extending the current millage rate? Well, early in the planning process, the individuals that were part of the internal and external steering committee evaluated a number of millage options, ranging from a 0 mill, no increase option to a 5 mill increase. As the potential project scope for the bond was being evaluated, the steering committee and the broader community determined that the 2 mill increase allowed for the best blend of necessary improvements recommended in the facilities assessment and would allow for educational programming updates to improve the educational offerings for all students. The 2 mil increase also allowed us to continue honoring the impact that the proposal would have on taxpayers. Asking for a 2 mil increase makes us more comparable to other area districts, yet keeps us at the lower end, but allows for us to make some substantial improvements to our facilities. How will an increase of 2 mils impact your taxes? This chart shows you the annual, monthly, and weekly impact that a 2 mil increase would have on your home. For example, if your taxable value, which is approximately 1/2 of the market value, was $100,000, the annual impact would be $200. The monthly impact would be $16.67. The weekly impact would be $3.85. Where do you find the taxable value of your home? Your taxable value is approximately 1/2 of the market value. Your taxable value can be located on your tax bill. For the actual tax impact of your home based on your actual taxable value, please go to the link at the bottom of this slide to utilize the tax calculator tool. The final bond proposal. Next, I will move into the projects that are included in the final bond proposal. The final bond proposal focuses on the highest priority projects in 4 key areas. Those 4 main priority areas are: number 1, safety and security improvements. Number 2, creating more modern learning environments that include making energy efficient improvements. 3, food service upgrades. And number 4, space, usage, and site upgrades. Let's explore each one of these in more detail. Safety and security projects. Peace of mind in the classroom allows for a more comfortable learning experience. The safety and security of our students and staff is the highest priority. In this area, the project includes secure entry vestibules and office renovations. The bond includes upgrades to the existing building entries. The entry areas will be sectioned off from the remainder of the building to control visitor access. The use of electronic door controls and video doorbell systems will allow office staff to control and monitor visitors entering the building. The vestibules will have the capacity and capability of locking down the building via duress control buttons. Playground safety. Playground equipment replacement is proposed to remove current pieces of equipment that are out of date and do not meet today's safety standards. Fire alarm system replacement. The current fire alarm system is out of date. The proposed fire alarm system will provide enhanced emergency communication with students and staff that meets today's code requirements. ADA accessibility improvements. As a district, we are committed to providing equal access to our facilities. The proposed improvements will provide barrier-free access to all spaces of our buildings. Modern learning environments. As educational trends continue to change and evolve, our facilities need to be flexible and relevant in ways that best support teaching and learning. Creating state-of-the-art educational environments that are comfortable will help our students be prepared for careers of the future. To update our current learning environments and to create a more modern learning environment, we are focusing on the following projects. Educational technology upgrades to help ensure our students are working with up-to-date instructional technology. Classroom furniture replacement will focus on providing new furniture that is geared toward greater space flexibility in the learning environments. The renovation of our high school science labs will give students a more flexible and state-of-the-art space for science exploration and a wide variety of science activities. While continuing with the goal of updating our current learning environments to more modern learning environments, the project in this area also will include some energy efficiency projects such as the replacement of single-pane window systems that are anticipated to improve energy performance. Energy-saving improvements allow the district to divert funding from operational costs toward items that will directly affect education. Mechanical systems will be upgraded to provide spaces with improved heating and will also include air conditioning, creating year-round comfort for students and staff. And as part of the mechanical system replacement, we will look at installing higher efficiency equipment. Lastly, upgrades to our mechanical systems will also include new building controls that will allow for greater monitoring and control over energy use. Food service projects. The library kitchen and the cafeteria also serves as the gymnasium and is extremely undersized and is out of date. The projects in this proposed plan include to expand and upgrade the kitchen area, create a dedicated cafeteria space, and to provide a new cooler freezer that is located inside of the building to allow for more convenient access to supplies. As it is right now, the food service staff have to travel outside and then navigate the lobby stairways with heavy boxes. Space usage and site projects. To maximize space use and flexibility, the bond proposal includes the following two projects. Parking lot repairs. This may seem a little out of place, but just take a drive around our facilities and you will easily see why there's a need to make some long overdue repairs to our parking lots. The addition of a new gymnasium at Liebrook Elementary. This will create greater opportunities for physical education and will provide another venue in the building for large group instruction. Additionally, the addition of a new gymnasium allows us to dedicate a cafeteria space to food service. While we're on the topic of the addition of a new gymnasium, let's pause for a minute and discuss the potential uses for a proposed gymnasium and what benefits this space would provide. Number one, dedicated gym space. The new space would provide dedicated elementary space separated from cafeteria space. Currently, the same space serves as both and limits the flexibility of use for elementary physical ed due to mealtime setup and tear down. Indoor recess options. The new space would allow for greater opportunities for indoor recess activities that will allow for students to have a physical activity that helps improve focus when returning to the learning environment. Community events. The new space has the potential to provide a community asset and would be used for community recreation leagues, community organization programming, and other use. Athletic practice space. The new space will provide an evening and off-season practice venue for a multitude of athletic programs. Additionally, the space will allow for practice times to be earlier in the evening for student athletes. That concludes our presentation. Do you have additional questions? If so, please contact Superintendent Ann Clough at aclough@eauclaireps.com. Also, be sure to look on our bond website, ecpsbond.com, for more information, and be sure to watch the Eau Claire Public School bond video posted on the website listed above. And last but not least, please consider joining us this Thursday, February 23rd, for lunch and a community tour of our facilities and project areas. The tour will take place at Liebrook Elementary at 9:30 a.m. and we hope to end approximately by 1:00 p.m. and lunch will be served. We hope to see you there. Thank you. Go Beavers!